Thank the gentleman from Arizona.
The gentleman from Tennessee reserves. The gentleman from Ohio is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield 3 minutes to the distinguished member from the great state of New Mexico.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of the RECA Extension Act of 2022. This legislation is a critical step in making certain that those men and women who have been harmed by the development and testing that occurred at the dawn of the nuclear age are compensated and assisted by the government that put them in harm's way. My constituents, the uranium miners, mill workers, uranium ore transporters, and those who live downwind of the atmospheric nuclear tests deserve our thanks, deserve our compassion, and are now in need of our assistance. The Radiation Exposure Compensation Act program was scheduled to expire July 10th of this year. The legislation before us extends the program unchanged for 2 years. This extension gives us the opportunity to amend this law to be more in keeping with the latest scientific data that indicates that there are additional classifications of workers and diseases that need to be included, as well as additional geographic areas that need to be added for those exposed to radiation from atmospheric nuclear weapons testing, including a significant population from my constituents from New Mexico. We should not view this extension as the chance to take a break from working on the shortcomings of the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, but as a chance for us to work together in a bipartisan way to make things right, to change the damaged and suffered Americans that have been harmed by the radiation exposure due to the government negligence. Just last month, I held a meeting in Grants, New Mexico, where nearly 50 community members shared their stories. Many of these men and women were post-1971 uranium workers or downwinders who are not yet eligible for RECA benefits. Listening to their stories hit home that there is still a lot of work left to be done to make sure these people are made whole. The time to get around the table to reform RECA is now. Not in 2 years, not in a year, but now. I invite all members of Congress to join me now in this work. Let's work out a legislative compromise to right these wrongs for the people of this great nation. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I yield back.